Hey guys, so the tech tool that I'm going to talk about today is called Quizlet Live. It is a great tool for educators to use to make learning more interactive and more game like. All students love competition, and that's really what drives a lot of them. So, this is a great tool to use. This is whenever you come onto Quizlet and you hit live, this is what will come up. And if we click on live, it shows you a few videos of different things, like some videos of how teachers have used it and have really enjoyed it and loved it. It gives you the option to try it for free, which is what we're doing today. You have a demo that you can use, and then it even gives you a few steps to go through it. So you would pick any set of Quizlet Live cards that you want to use. You create a code for your students to type in, and I'll show you the student view of it as well. And then students are assigned the terms, and this is what the student view is going to look like when they go to quizletlive.com. And then this shows you what they're going to be learning about. And then after they type in the code, it will show you the student. And once they all log in, Quizlet Live is actually going to assign each student a team. So they're going to be competing with each other. And I think that's really what makes it fun and interesting for the students, especially because if they feel like they're part of a team, it's going to make learning a little more fun. And so the awesome thing about Quizlet Live as well is it is linked up with Quizlet. So any sets of cards or flashcards that you want to use are already linked up. So I could go to Quizlet and type in cats. Let's see what we can find. We have all of these different terms, which I could quiz my students on. Say I wanted to use, let's do the first one. If I wanted to use the first one, I have the flashcards here. The students can study with the flashcards. They could write them. They could spell them. It's everything that you can do on regular Quizlet to study, but we can also go to live over here. And since I'm logged in under my name as the educator, the awesome thing is I have the access to create what they're working on. Once they log in, they don't even have to log in actually. Once I give them the code, it blocks everything else out, and that is what they're working on. So that's a pretty awesome tool. And so once you come to Quizlet Live, I have this set of cards, and then you would create a game, and it will give you a code for your students to type in once they get to Quizlet Live. And this is what they would be working on. They wouldn't be able to work on anything else from Quizlet. This is what you've asked them to do. And once they type that code in, they'll be assigned a team, and then that is what they're working on. And so it makes it more game-like. And the awesome thing too is, let's see here. We can go to, let's go to, if I wanted to create my own study set, I could also do that as well. So if I wanted to say, I'm going to type in cats again, and I could make my own set of cards. So these are terms that I expect my students to be familiar with, and then they're going to play the game with the set of cards that I have made. And that's pretty awesome too. You can add as many as you would like down here. You can keep on going. And it gives you 5 at first, so I could type in any breeds. We'll do breeds. And then breeds are the different types of cats. And so that's just a term that I would expect my students to know. And then I can also go up here and change who can see this because it is a Quizlet set of study cards. I can change it to just me, or I can make everyone of it, or I can make it available to everyone. I want to do just me. Or I could do a certain class. I could create a class on Quizlet where my students can see it and I can add them to it, but the rest of the world wouldn't be able to. Or people with my password or with a password can see it as well. I'm going to do just me because this is just a silly little quiz that we are making, and it's just a little demo. And now let's go back to Quizlet Live. I've already made this one right here, the cats. And let's see here. I don't want to go to study sets. And this is where you would create a class. I could enter the class name. Let's do EED 324, which is our class. And I could do, the description's optional. You wouldn't have to do anything, but we could put technology. And then UNA. Yeah, there we go. We could do that. We could create a class where my students would be able to come in and join, or they could just study these flashcards that I have created for them as a study tool as well. So that's a pretty awesome thing. And then once, let's see, let's go back to the cats draft. Or well, no, let's do this one again. We're going to search cats again. And we did the first one with the 7 terms. And then I went to Quizlet Live, create game. And so this is my code. So then this right up here is our student version. Whenever they just type in Quizlet Live, it brings them straight to this. They don't have to sign in or anything like that. So let's see here. We'll go. And then they can join the game. And then they would type in their name. And everyone's given the same question. Or you could also make it where only one person has the correct answer, which is really cool too, because the students really would have to decipher whether or not they do have the right answer, or if it's someone else in the class that has it. And so I really think that's a great way to assess their knowledge, because they would have to determine whether or not they are the one that has it, or if there's the potential for someone else to have it in the class. So let's see here. And this, it will show up here the name and the class, or the code that we used. And then we're waiting for the teacher to start. So, and it says waiting for 5+ students, but I'm the only one that's actually using it right now. So once all of my students would log in, we could begin quizzing on that set of game, or on that set of cards. So that is pretty awesome. It will show you your study sets that you've used, and that's once I create my own set. The one that I started with the cats, that was just showing you how to create one, but we didn't save anything, so I haven't created one yet. And so it's really just an awesome tool for educators to use. It will show you the terms that you have studied, and it looks like I've studied some for Praxis. Which I use Quizlet quite frequently. So I think this is really great that if I'm familiar with it, I know a lot of my students could become familiar with it. And it's a great way for them to study. And then the Quizlet Live really just makes it interactive. It makes it fun. Especially whenever everyone has the same answer. That could be something that you could use for homework, and you could assign it at a certain time if you wanted to, or as like a brain break or something like that. And then they could go back and study after a quiz, or it could just really be something kind of silly that you wanted them to do. Or they could be studying for a test or something like that. And this is really great for educators too, because it allows you to create the material for your students to study. So I really enjoy it, and I hope y'all do too. Thanks.